Welcome to the first edition of a brand new series where you, the Scunthorpe fans, get to have an insight of your club. Today I'm joined by the club's chief scout, Turnbull, and we're going to look back at the club, all the latest news from the club, and look ahead to Saturday's season opener away at Swindon. So firstly, we'll look back at the pre-season. This pre-season has been wins against Carlton, Leicester and Huddersfield, just to name a few. There's also been the acquisitions of Miguel Lair and R. Taylor and other big players. But there's also been the departure of Sam Winnall and the injury to David Murphy. And what's your assessment of the pre-season in general?
Well, I think when getting promoted from League 2, we probably knew that we needed to strengthen the squad, and we've been working really hard this summer. Chairman and the board of directors have been very supportive, and as a group we've managed to bring in some really good players, we think. Lyle Taylor you mentioned. We think that Jenison Mary Williams will do a really good job for us. Neil Bishop with his experience. Miguel Lair, another experienced player. And also Miles Addison in on loan as well, another experienced player who has played in the Championship, and another player that we think can really add some value to the squad.
And the pre-season matches have been very competitive. How important has it been that the opposition you've played in pre-season have been as competitive as it has?
Really important. Pre-season has a structure to it, and I think the early weeks of pre-season, playing against some teams like Bottisford and Winderton and Frickley, have a place. Because people need minutes and competitive minutes under the belt, but as we've seen against Huddersfield and Leicester, we can perform to a high standard. Those two games were really competitive, and we're delighted that we ended up with 2 victories in those games, because a little bit of self-belief and confidence, and goal scorers scoring goals, defenders trying to keep clean sheets, it's very important. So we're almost there now, and Swindon just round the corner. Hopefully we're fully revved up for it.
One of, if not the standout performer of pre-season has been Paddy Madden. The Irishman scored 4 goals in pre-season, and he's showing the signs of form what he had when he was League 1 top goal scorer 2 years ago. Here's what our number 9 said about his goal scoring form.
Found League 2 last year, obviously you don't get a lot of time on the ball, where League 1's a bit more. So I've proven that I can do well in League 1. Hopefully, I've got the golden boot in League 1 before, so I'll be looking to do that again.
Lee, how big a season is Paddy Madden capable of having?
I think he's proven in League 1. He was top goal scorer in League 1 a couple of years back. We're delighted to have Paddy on board. He's an infectious character. His work rate, his effort and determination are there for everyone to see. Every minute he's on the pitch. And he's a goal scorer. When he came into the club last year, I think everyone was surprised that we could attract someone of the calibre of Paddy. He's a great lad around the dressing room as well. So we're hopeful this year that he can have his moment in the sun again, and hopefully score the goals that we need to make an impact on the division.
Switching to the other end of the pitch now, Iron goalkeeper and skipper Slam Slocum has come off the back of his greatest ever professional year. He's been talking to us ahead of this week's trip to Swindon.
Yeah, I think the squad is actually excited by it. What we don't get in League 1 compared to League 2 is more of the direct teams. You play against a couple of teams in League 1 that put the ball in the box 60 or 70 times a game, and it's not nice to play against. Some teams do it effectively, some teams don't do it effectively, but in League 1 you get less teams that do that. And I think our squad is maybe a little bit more suited to League 1, in which we want to get on the ball and we want to play, and that'll allow us to do it. And yeah, the way training's been going, there's no doubt that we're all excited for it.
Lee, Sam used to be part of your community scheme. How impressed have you been with him since his arrival at Scunthorpe and making himself the #1 goalkeeper and now the captain of the club?
Yeah, he's a terrific kid, Sam. He came to us on work experience from college. He was playing for Bottisford Town as well at the time, and I managed to get him involved in training with the first team squad. So he would do a bit of work for me, and then he would train with the first team as well. So yeah, it's great to know that we've hopefully been a part of Sam's career here at Scunthorpe United. He's a local lad. He's a tremendous ambassador for the football club and the community scheme, I may add. But yeah, Sam's now at an age where he's an experienced member of the squad. He's club captain, as you said. Tremendous ambassador both on and off the pitch.
It must give you personally an enormous amount of pride to see how far he's come, especially when you were with him more or less at the very start.
Absolutely, you know, and it's great that you can introduce some players into the first team, whether you're buying them from other clubs or whether they're recommended to you from local teams. And yeah, you know, Sam came on work experience with us, and then he's captain of the football club, so it's a fantastic journey for both the community scheme and Sam.
There's been plenty of goals this pre-season for Scunthorpe United from all over the pitch. Here you can see all of this year's pre-season goals. Focusing on the match at Swindon this weekend, what are yours and the team's expectations going into this match?
Well, we've done a hell of a lot of homework on Swindon. I've watched them twice. We've also got the DVDs of their games during pre-season. They've got some players of real quality, and away from home especially. It's a nice big pitch, beautiful surface, good atmosphere at Swindon as well. There'll be a good crowd in there. We'll take a few down there, so I'm expecting it to be a really, really good game. Two sides that want to play football in the right way.
Make it even better if you beat a team that should be challenging towards the top end of the table early on.
Yeah, I don't suppose many people will give us much of a chance down at Swindon, but that dressing room thinks they've got a chance, and it's a great game because Swindon, you know, are a big club at this level. They've been in the Premier League. They've had one or two issues off the field, new ownership issues, and I know Mark Cooper, I played with Mark at Wickham, and Mark's been trying to get a squad together. It's taken a bit of time for him during the summer, but again he's got some really good players. They're a side that I would expect to be certainly in the top half of the table.
You mentioned the mood in the Scunthorpe dressing room. Are the nerves jangling now going into the new season, or is everyone buzzing and raring to go?
I think there's a quiet confidence around the place. I think there's a belief which you've got to have. I think everyone's done the work. John Schofield, Andy Dawson, Paul Musselwhite on the coaching side, assisting Russ of, you know, tireless effort on the training ground. Great characters, a wealth of knowledge as well, which they're, you know, transferring to the playing squad. And there's been some good work done in pre-season. Injuries, you know, they're always the ones that can really throw a spanner in the works. And yeah, we were very disappointed when we did lose Dave Murphy, but again highly delighted to have Miles Addison and Miguel Liera joining the squad. So there's a quiet confidence in there, but it certainly won't be overconfident, because we know the challenge that Swindon will pose, and it's a real difficult start.
You've heard what Lee thinks, a quiet confidence going into the season. Here's what Russ Wilcox has to say.
And again, we've got to combat that and respect that, first and foremost, but also stamp on them our game as well, which we did to great effect last season. That is the key. I want to respect the opposition, but not fear the opposition. There's certain bits we've picked out from the DVDs where hopefully, you know, we can hurt them. I think that's the key as well. We're not going there to set up to play for a draw. I don't want to do that, even though it's a step up. We've got to make sure we're solid and have good shape about us. It's a similar system to Huddersfield put out against us here, and we did really well with that. We got into good shape early, but also it's when you get the ball, then we don't want the ball to change hands too quickly when we've worked so hard to get it back. We've got to make sure we look after it better this season. I think in League 2 the ball changes hands so quickly, it's untrue at times. At this level it doesn't, so it's important to work hard and have good shape without the ball, but it's also key to look after it, but also pass with a purpose. I don't want to be a tip-tap team where we're playing in the back four all the time. I want to develop through the lines, which I think we showed on Saturday with the second and third goal. Some terrific play where we're patient and then we explode, and it's good 1-2 touch play that gets a goal at the end of it. So if we can play like that on Saturday with the same movement and the same endeavour and belief, should be a cracking game.
Finally, Lee, what are your predictions for the upcoming season in each division? So we'll start in the Premier League. Who do you think is going to win that?
Well, Louis van Gaal's gone into Man United, and after last season, well, I'm not saying they'll win it, but I think they'll be a lot closer than what they were last season. I would expect Man City and Chelsea to fight it out, but Arsenal and Man United as dark horses. They'd surprise a few this season.
Do you think it will be that top four then, and
I
Liverpool,
think so.
Tottenham, Everton missing out?
Yeah, I mean, Liverpool were great last season, and Brendan Rodgers again has got a philosophy of how to play football, and it's been really successful at Liverpool. But I just think that Man City, Chelsea, Man United and Arsenal, they'll be the top four this season.
In terms of relegation, who do you think could be the ones that are going to face the drop this year?
Well, everyone will probably presume that Burnley will struggle and maybe Leicester will struggle. I think it could be perhaps Sunderland who struggle this year. I know they just got out of it right in the dying embers of the season last year. I think Sunderland could struggle. I think West Ham potentially could struggle. And then maybe it could be Burnley as well.
Which team do you think could do a Southampton and spring a bit of a surprise on the big teams this year and finish higher than people expect them to?
Maybe Leicester.
Really?
Maybe Leicester, yeah. Leicester, Nigel Pearson's done a terrific job at Leicester. They could be the surprise package this season. They've got good firepower up top. It's got a really strong, disciplined team at Leicester City, and they could be the surprise package.
Player-wise, there's no Luis Suarez anymore, so PFA Player of the Year, who do you think is going to win that this year? Who do you think is going to be a standout players in the Premier League?
Oh, wow, interesting. I'm a big fan of Wayne Rooney's. I think Liverpool in Sturridge and Sterling have got two terrific young English players there. I'd like to see an English player, win it. I think it's good for the game if we have a young English player that really has a good, outstanding season. I suppose Rooney now comes into the veteran category, doesn't he? But it'd be great to see Wayne Rooney have a good season.
Finally, we'll look at the other three divisions: Championship, League 1, League 2. Who do you think is going to win it first off?
Norwich and Cardiff and Fulham came down. You would imagine with the parachute payments that they'll be really strong, financially strong. Fulham paying 11 million for Ross McCormack. They've got to be in the mix, because of the financial clout that they've got. They've got to be in the mix. I'm hopeful that my team, Middlesbrough, might finally make a push back towards the Premier League, but I don't think you can look too far beyond Fulham, Cardiff and Norwich.
And then League 1 going into the Scunthorpe division. Who do you think will be the teams up there challenging? Sheffield United have been runaway favourites really before the season started.
Yeah, rightly so. Sheffield United finished the season, or since Nigel Clough took over, which was probably 3/4 of the season he had with them. Got to an FA Cup semi-final, performed really well at league level. They'll be up and around it. Bristol City will be a lot stronger this year under Steve Cottrell, so them two for me will be probably the favourites. Preston North End the playoff disappointment they suffered last year might just galvanise them again to try and finish in that top 2. Tough division.
Then League 2, there's quite a few teams challenging there. There's Bury, and then you've got the 2 teams promoted. Luton got a chance, Cambridge United. Who do you think you'll see prevailing in that division?
I wouldn't look too far beyond Luton really. I think Luton probably have got the capacity and the capability. They certainly have the fan base down there at Kenilworth Road as well to be fighting at the top end of the division. They'll have a healthy budget. Northampton Town, my mate Chris Wilder there has done a great job since he left Oxford, so Northampton will be up there. Southend as well, Phil Brown's recruited really well during the summer, and Hartlepool maybe as another one. Colin Cooper again plays some good attractive football, got some good young players at Hartlepool, so maybe those 4 might fight it out.
Thanks Lee. Every week we're going to be doing a quiz to test how Lee Turnbull's knowledge of football is holding up. This week the question is, can he name all 12 teams that were relegated from all 4 top English divisions last season?
Wow,
already named the 3 Premier League teams.
Wow, yeah, I'm not going to repeat that.
So there's 3 down.
Okay, so we're going to go from the Championship, teams that went down at the Championship. Well, Yeovil, Doncaster, Doncaster, who else fell out in the Championship last year? Yeovil, Doncaster, I should know actually. I'll pass on that one for now, I might revisit that one. Out of League 1, Stevenage went down, Carlisle went down, Stevenage, Carlisle. God dear, you should know these things, shouldn't you? Stevenage, Carlisle. We'll go back to the Championship. The other one that went down in the Championship
Yorkshire.
It was Barnsley, of course it was. Yeah, it was Barnsley. Yeah. Well, there'll be another team that'll be quite strong in League 1. Dropping out of League 1, Stevenage, Carlisle.
You've got 8 so far, 4 to go. 2 from League 1, 2 from League 2.
2 from League 2. Well, the ones at League 2 went out. That was Torquay.
Yep.
They got relegated. And Bristol Rovers.
Yep.
They got relegated.
10 out of 12.
And out of League 1. Give us a clue.
Sounds a bit like Boosbury.
Shrewsbury, Mickey Mellon. Yeah, they'll be all right in League 2. Shrewsbury. Yeah. Mickey Mellon he's recruited really well. So Shrewsbury there went out. Come on, I need
T.
Come
Here's
on.
a T. TR.
Tranmere Rovers.
Tranmere Rovers, yeah.
So I always think of Tranmere as John Aldridge days when they were in the halcyon days of Championship football.
Big FA Cup games.
Massive Paul Rideout scoring goals against Southampton. Yeah.
Well, we got there eventually. That's it for this week. Thanks to Lee for joining us, and hopefully this time next week we'll be looking back on the Irons' first 3 points of the new season.